welcome back to more Space Engineers. Hal here, and today we're looking at the maintenance tunnel mod. Now, I've recently had a lot of questions, I mean a lot of people asking about this mod. It is something that I found on the workshop a while back, and the mod author actually has a really good in-depth look at all of the blocks. But what I wanted to do is to provide you with just a very quick overview of what we've got here. So you know, there are two versions of the blocks. There is the actual block, and then there's the round tunnel version. So everything that's available in block format is also available as a round tunnel, so that you can customize your design a little bit better. Now, for the people who don't even know what I'm talking about at this point, let me introduce you to the maintenance tunnel mod. What this is it's actually a system of tunnels, as you can see here, that when you put them together, you can actually walk through them. What this allows you to do is to build maintenance corridors in your ships, and they also operate as conveyors, and they are full-sized conveyors, even though the only thing that's connecting them are these small pipe systems. What this allows you to do is that instead of having to build passageways either by just, you know, cutting negative space into your ship designs, or planning hallways in areas, and then having to also run conveyors through the same space or nearby or whatever you might normally do, this allows you to have a single passage area within your ship that allows you to transport not just goods but yourself, which actually works really well. And since I have no gravity on the platform, I'm using the mag boots, so you're going to see a little wonky behavior for my walking. That's because I'm using the mag boots, not because of the models. So just so everybody knows. Now, you have a couple of different options here. You have basically the regular maintenance tube, which is this hallway here. There are no connectors on it other than at each end. You can build off of them, so if you have, say, a metal block that you want to put on either side, you can actually do that as well. All 6 sides of this are buildable. Now, they are like other connectors. You do have to have all of your active connection points completely attached to a connector somewhere else for this thing to show it being completely in use. The lights system that you'll see here will go from the red, meaning that it's not connected, to green, being that it is connected and powered on. Now, you have, like I said, a straight through. You have a turn, and then you start getting into things like this, which are, you know, the 3-position T. You've got a corner piece, which is actually a 3-way corner, which is actually kind of cool. I don't really use this block personally, simply because my designs really haven't been that ornate or intricate to need this particular block, but it's nice to have it. Because if you need it, you know, I'd rather have it than not need it. Then this is the 4-way T, so you actually have the normal straight through, and then you have basically a top as well, access point. There is the hub. This is the 5, right? Yeah, 5-way connector. You have a maintenance cube, which is actually kind of cool because if you put these together, you can actually end up building frameworks, and because of the way that it's done, it ends up looking like a scaffolding system with a pipe network tied through it. Really, really nice for getting things done if you're going for that more of an industrial design. So if you are familiar with this mod from some of my earlier builds, I know people have asked me about it. Yes, the mod author did do a graphics update. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing the newer version of this. If you look at some of my older videos that are using this mod, you'll see lower detail polys. But I'm glad that they actually did go back and revamp it. Now, this last block on this row, this is a mergeless block. This block is important because this ring here actually behaves as though there is a connector there for sealing this off. So you can have this open and still have this tied to a pressurized system. As long as everything on the back side of this thing is tied together and airtight, this piece here will allow you to have basically an open face tunnel that is still pressurized. So a very cool little feature. I haven't done anything with this particular block yet, so I'm not sure how effective it is. There are some known issues with the airtightness features as well as pressurizing the systems with this mod. You just have to be careful with what you're doing, and if you have any problems, you can always attach a door to it if you need to. Now, getting into the second row, we're getting more into the connectors now. So we do have sorting blocks. You have the straight through sort. Let's go ahead and there we go. So you have the straight sort. You have a angled sort. This is the corner sorting block, which is actually kind of nice. And then you start getting into the terminators and connectors. Now this block, if you notice, it looks like a normal block on all sides, but it is a terminating connector. What you would do is if you had, say, a storage box of some kind, let's say a cargo container, you know what? We can actually do that because why? We're in free creative mode. Let's go cargo. We're going to just do, we'll do a small cargo container. Right? Save a small cargo container. You have the maintenance cube, T-shaped corner. Did I grab the wrong one? I may have grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the wrong one. No, I did have... there we go. Okay, so what you can do is if you see this, like, almost looks like a... I don't know how you would describe it. You have what looks like an industrial grinder looking piece here. That's the connector. This has to be connected to whatever network you're tying it to. And this is a T-shape. So what it does is, we'll go ahead and get that. Since we put the grill side towards the cargo container, this now ties your network into your cargo system. Now you can use this to transport oxygen. You can do it for goods, all sizes. There are no size restrictions on what these will handle. They're basically large conveyor blocks, and the mod only has block models for large grids. You cannot use this with small grids, unfortunately. But if you were using it with small grids, it would be a much smaller passageway, and no, I don't think you're going to be able to get through there with a standard character model anyway. So, all right. So, talking about how that works. So this piece here is what needs... Whoa, hello. This piece here is what needs to actually be tied into your existing cargo network. Once it's tied in, everything past this point will actually operate as a normal conveyor. Now you do have, with like this one, you have an angled, so you can have a connector to the one side with a access tunnel here. So the nice thing about this is that it allows you to keep your, if you're going for a square build, if you just want to use the normal square blocks for your tubing system, to keep that feel to it, and at the same time still be able to basically turn the corner on your supply set without needing to put in conveyor blocks or anything, or the conveyor blocks or the additional cargo blocks or anything like that. So it's kind of nice. I really like this mod. I think that the mod author did a fantastic job with this. And again, you do have multiple options for these things. Some of them will have one connector on one side. Some have connectors on multiple sides. And as you start playing with the system, you're going to find out what works for you and what doesn't. Can we open that? Nope, we don't have any power, but that's okay. Let's throw some. Let me show you what this thing looks like. Let's get rid of that. We're going to just throw a... sure. We'll throw a large reactor up there. Why not, right? See? And then this is one of the access hatches. Fully modeled. really nice because you can come through, and that door is airtight. So if you're using these for interior builds, you can actually have them set up as compartments. Again, you have this one is a mergeless block that works as a seal. Let's see if I can get the ring. So this is a separator block. So what you would be able to do is have pressurized on one side, non-pressured on the other. Or if you wanted to set up an airlock system, you could use this in conjunction with that. And I have gotten myself stuck to the wall. There we go. But yeah, so you would be able to use this as a separator to keep, a pressurized system versus a non-pressurized system. And then you have the actual airlock block. And this is where I was saying is what you'd probably do would be to use something like the separator and this block. But it does the same thing. Right? It's going to open. There it goes. So what you do is you come through. Right? Let's go ahead and close this one. And then when this one closes, this one opens. So you can have a single block airlock entry area. Come on, let me out of there. Thank you. Without having a gravity system here, it's a little wonky, but you get the idea of what it's doing. And then again, this side closes, and that side opens. So it's a nice little airlock thing that I'm actually going to be using more in my own builds. Instead of the normal doors that I'm using here, basically what I'll do is these will be interior doors moving forward. And I'll use these for my access points because I really do like the airlock block setup that they've got in place. Now, to give you an idea of what some of these things look like in the round configuration, I know we have obviously more connector blocks here. Do we have any of the... Yeah, this one's one of the multi-connectors, so you can actually have it connected to the straight on or on a T connector. And then this one is just the straight back, I believe, right? Yeah, just the straight through. Let's see. So with these are the vented blocks that we were talking about. So what this is that this one block operates as an air vent system as well. Now keep in mind that it is not as efficient or as effective as a normal vanilla air vent. This thing takes roughly 3 times the time that it would normally take to pressurize or depressurize an area. So if you're using these, you're probably going to want to have multiple vent systems, but these tie back into the rest of the network just like any of the other blocks will. And then you do have other options with them. They have the straight through, you have a T-set. Both of these are actually really, really well done. I really like the modeling that they did, and I have started using these a bit more. You don't have to have every block in your network be this system. All you need is 1 or 2 of these per segment that you want to keep pressurized with oxygen as well. So if you're not using the oxygen system, you don't even need to worry about these unless you just want them there for general appearances. Now, going on, these are what the round versions of them look like. This is the round straight through, the round turn, the 3-way block, right? That's your 3-way corner. Your 5-way, or regular T block, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Your 4-way intersection, your 5-way intersection, and then the maintenance block that we were talking about before, the maintenance, this one is the actual maintenance, and I forgot what they called these now. See, I'm losing my mind. Oh, and I took my... Doesn't that figure? Let me grab this. Let me grab the tool really quick. Oh, come on. Get out of there. There we go. So this is the maintenance hub, is what they call these. Again, these are really nice if you're going for that industrial design. For the rounded ones, my personal thing with these is I think I would use these more on a habitation module or on a planet-side structure. Where the rounded shape tends to make more sense to me. I personally like the blocks for anything that is not going to be in an atmosphere. If it's going into an atmosphere, then I'll use a rounded shape. Again, that's just me. I have been known to use these interchangeably, especially if I'm doing things where I want exposed piping. Using these as exposed piping is actually really cool, because then you can use these because they are part of your conveyor network, but they're also a passage system, so you can end up using them pretty interestingly for hidden passageways, as well as just, having some fun with it if you're looking for a little bit more detail in your builds. Again, great mod. Links to this mod will be in the description below. If you haven't already taken a look at it, stop by and give the mod author a little bit of love. Tell them that you appreciate it and you like it and you want to see more from them. They have stopped creating new blocks for this mod, to be completely honest with you. And what they're doing is they're trying to get them dialed in. They want to get the optimization for them done. And with the way that Keem Software House is working, it's making it really difficult for them to get the optimizations done because of the way that updates are being pushed. So when things stable up a little bit more, you'll see these being used, being updated again. At least that's what the mod author is hoping to see. It just comes down to how long does it take for everything to stabilize out. Now, the last piece of information on this does work in both development as well as stable branches. I used them in my own playthrough, which I am in development mode for. They work just fine. Everything works the way they're supposed to work. What you do need to worry about, though, is that with everything Space Engineers, something's going to explode at some point. So at least with these things, if they detonate, they're easy to repair, they're easy to replace. And because there's no real moving parts except on the doors, you're probably not going to get any problems out of them. I have not had any problems yet, and I've been using them for, I don't know, probably about 40 to 50 hours. If something was going to blow up, it would have blown up by now. So, again, great mod. Thank you to the mod author for these. I hope everyone enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the section below. If you enjoyed the review of this and want to see more, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, or you're new to the channel, well, welcome to the channel, and hit that subscribe button, because the likes, the comments, and subscriptions not only help the channel to grow, but they let me know that you're enjoying the videos, and well, that's what I'm here for. Anyway, I'm out of here. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, have a terrific week, and we'll see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody.